Welcome to the MediaBooks podcast, the only place on the internet where creative accounting isn't a bad thing. Owning a virtual firm today means having a professional and modern online presence, and in this podcast, we talk about how to do just that. My name is Kristen Corey, and I'm the owner of MediaBooks, a media agency that provides creativity exclusively to accounting firms. And if you're an accounting firm owner, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the MediaBooks podcast. It has been a while since I have recorded an episode with just myself. We've had a lot of guests recently, but I've had a lot of just updates that I thought I would things I've learned and things that I would just kind of share with you guys about MediaBooks and just have sort of a one-on-one fireside chat, if you will. So let's just get right into it. I mean, first things first is MediaBooks. We launched a course, Marketing Academy. I mean, for years, obviously, there's no way that you can operate today and not think about doing a course at some point. And really, I've been hesitant to do it for years for a number of reasons. But a lot of the reason was no one wants to be a marketer. That's why they hire us, is so that they can not do their marketing. And then over time, I started to have more and more people in our audience really that were very interested in our services, but for one reason or another, it was just out of their budget, or they were just getting started. We have a lot of clients where you guys are in the process of moving from corporate to owning your own business and owning your own firm. And so when you're at that stage, you don't necessarily have the financial flexibility to hire professional marketing services. And so I was actually talking with a friend of mine who's a business coach. And I was telling her, I was like, I wish I could put together an offer that just we were able to help, and we were able to help these people that needed us, but they were just getting started and they didn't. She's like, why don't you put together a course? And I'm like, that just seems like the obvious answer. Why have I been reluctant? And so I put together a course, and I'm already I should have done this sooner. And this has been months in the making. And not necessarily I've been letting kind of the ideas come to me for the last few months. And I wanted to make sure that we did it right. And basically since January, I have had this notebook on my computer of things that I wanted to include in the course. And I think every single question I have been asked, every single thing that we have done for someone is covered in this course. And I don't mean to make this sound like a sales pitch. There is going to be educational content to this. But it's really, I wanted to make sure that no stone was left unturned when it came to this course. And it's been out so I'm recording this as of May 19th. It's been out for 19 days. And within the first week, we had someone submit a website, and I was already oh my gosh, this is DIY. We made the right decision. And so the course is going well. And it's the first, I've been part of promotions when it comes to courses before, but this is the first course, as I've said, with MediaBooks that we've launched. And there was a lot of, obviously, the administrative sort of operations side of things, where it's okay, where are we going to put the course? How do we want things to work? How long should the subscription be? Should we do a subscription model or a one-time payment? All these kind of questions come up. And one big thing that I wasn't super confident about going into, and even now, I guess I still have some questions, but it's been decided, is where the course should live. And as I've helped or, kind of talked with different people about their own courses, I felt okay, we're Squarespace pros. Let's do this on Squarespace. I already have a Squarespace plan. And really cost-wise, it seems like the best option. So I did that. I did our course on Squarespace, and there was one sort of hidden perk that I didn't realize until I was promoting the course. And that was when you put your course on your website. So you don't send them to Teachable or Udemy or some other website, is that when your course is on your website and your students have to keep coming back, that helps your SEO. I have no idea why this didn't occur to me, but oh my goodness, it seems so obvious now, but like our website views have gone up. And this isn't to say, oh, it's going to bring us, it's going to be our new marketing strategy. But that helps SEO when people keep coming back to your website and they spend time on your website. So if you are thinking about launching a course and you have a website on Squarespace, I would definitely consider this as going to be one of the perks of choosing to build a Squarespace course, is having your course on Squarespace, is that it boosts your SEO. And so, I mean, the only con with that right now, it's a little bit of a weird con, is when it comes to my marketing analytics. I've always seen a correlation between my website views and our consultations, which, now it's going to be a little off just because our website views have gone up because people are coming to our website more frequently to access the course that they paid for. And it's not necessarily directly related to our consultations. Our students are clients, but they're not scheduling consultations necessarily at the same rate that they would be, that other website users are coming to. So, I mean, that's just kind of, I feel like as I'm going through these things and I'm learning, what works and what doesn't, why not share it? It's something new that we've done. And I thought it could kind of be just helpful to someone out there, maybe listening or considering putting together a course. The second thing is, I haven't talked with you guys behind the scenes. I know so many of you are thinking of doing a course, and your plan is to have the course done and then promote it. That's not the right way to do things. Announce a deadline or a launch date of your course and you will get it done. If I did it in the opposite direction, if I first tried to get the course done and then did a promotion, I would probably still be working on the course. Having a deadline, having a publicly declared launch date really gets your butt moving. I busted out all of our course content in a much shorter time frame than I planned, and that was because I set a deadline for myself, or I set a deadline that I announced publicly. So that's all to say. If you want to get a course done and you've been talking about it for months, schedule a launch date and then get going, because it'll really, really get your butt moving. So that's, kind of what it comes to, or what we've been working on Marketing Academy wise. The next thing sort of on my little docket of notes is it's conference season. Every single day I'm getting an email about a new event or conference or webinar or summit or one thing or another, which is great. I mean, especially the webinar ones, those are really easy to attend, and I think they're, just kind of really kind of fun ways to get little tidbits of information. If you attended Anchor's, I forgot what it's called. It was something summit. They had a summit the week of the 12th, May 12th. Here's the thing. If you attended the summit, I know you remember the summit because they had a llama chat room. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to my LinkedIn page. I shared a photo of it. But basically, it was this virtual conference where you had a little avatar that was a llama, and you got to bop around all those different places. And so that was really fun. I thought that was a very unique way to get people engaged and spend more time there. And it was memorable, super memorable. I love that you can kind of go and see what else they had to offer. Frankly, if you ever get an email about a conference for your audience, you should attend. You have no idea who you're going to meet there, what opportunities are going to show up, what conversations you can participate in, especially if they're virtual. Here's the thing. I know you have two screens. Put the webinar up on one screen, work on your other. That's what I do all the time. I'll have a webinar playing in the background. And if anything, hopefully, opportunities come and you learn something about your audience when you go to these. I attended Anchor's summit last week, and as I was, my little llama bopping around the conference, I noticed they had a door where you could apply to be a speaker at one of their future events. And so, Anchor, if you're listening, I saw that door and I applied. I may have applied twice because I think my internet had an issue, and so I submitted my application twice just in case. But attending these webinars, you never know what you're going to find or what, fun content is going to come from it. And so for your audience, for your own professional development, they're great, of course. I, also do I attend marketing webinars, but the accounting ones, really good chances and opportunities to get your name out there, learn more about your audience, all those things. So definitely go register. It doesn't, if you're not doing anything, you're just doing work, have it on in the background. You already have a podcast on in the background. Why not have a webinar on in the background? And so that's kind of just my little tidbit about webinars, but we also have Scaling New Heights coming up at the end of June. MediaBooks is going to be a vendor, so it'll be like the first in-person event we have ever done at MediaBooks. So if you're attending, please come say hi to me, because I am going to be so nervous to be seeing people in person. And I'm kind of maybe channeling my own, like, what would I want there if I was nervous and I wanted to show up? I'm sort of making our swag and offerings focus on the people that are maybe a little nervous to be there. Because a lot of our bit is like, we're marketers. We're helping you get your name out there. And so how do I help you calm your nerves? And so we're putting together some fun swag and like, not deliverables, giveaways, things you can use at the conference to help sort of calm you down and help you get out there more. One thing that we're putting together is, I don't know if I want to give this. No. Okay. I'm trying to think, like, would our other vendors listening and are they going to steal our idea? Probably not. But here's one thing that we're doing is I am putting together sorry, I have my kiddo in the background. He's having a really fun time. I am putting together little business cards with a QR code. When you scan that QR code, you are going to be brought to a download of 100 questions that you can ask at the conference as like icebreakers. So they're questions you can ask, just like standard. You meet someone in line at Starbucks, and they're also at the conference. How do you ask them something other than, yeah, the weather here is pretty crazy, or it's really warm? Like, we want to ask a little bit better questions. So we're going to have standard questions. We're going to have questions that you can ask to vendors. So I've been at conferences before where it's like, I want to talk to this vendor, but I feel awkward walking up to a table and being like, hi, so what do you do? Like, what do I ask? So we're going to include questions to ask vendors. And then there's also going to be questions you can ask to other attendees. So other bookkeepers, accountants, things like that. 100 questions that are not about the weather. And so, that's just one thing that we're kind of putting together to like help you guys as attendees at the conference be more successful at the conference. And, our whole bit is helping you look good, helping you increase your perceived value. And I feel like this is part of it. And so at the conference, if you are attending Scaling New Heights, we want to be sort of your Swiss Army knife of like toolkit of like, how do I make the most out of this conference? And so please stop by our booth. We are going to be located next to the lunch entrance. Follow me online. I'm going to be posting about it all weekend. Follow me on Instagram. Instagram is probably the best place because that's where I'll be doing a lot of like stories and not live streaming, but like real time posts. But you can follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook too. We'll be posting stuff on there as well. So please stop by. Some other things that we're doing to kind of prepare for the conference is I'm noticing this. I'm trying to find a lot of videos on like how to prepare for conferences. As a vendor, there's not a lot online. There is not a lot of like, here's some tips to prepare as a vendor, but there is a lot of advice on how to prepare as an attendee. So if you're spending all this money on attending conferences, highly recommend just checking out like different YouTube videos on like good networking, things like that. This conference is not necessarily one where you're going to be around a lot of potential clients, but you will be around a lot of people with potential opportunities and ways that you can kind of grow your business and learn more and all those things. So it's still great networking opportunities. It's just maybe a little bit, not marketing client focused. So yeah, if you guys are going, please, come say hi to me because I am nervous and we can just be nervous together and awkwardly not talk about the weather. We're not going to talk about the weather. Last thing I want to talk about with kind of this just smorgasbord of podcast topics is a question that I ask a lot of our clients, and I want to have an honest conversation about what kind of answer I want from you guys because I'm not always getting it. And it kind of goes back to There's a story I feel like really exemplifies why this is important. So we recently, maybe by the time this podcast episode goes out, it'll be announced, but I'll announce it now. We recently were hiring someone for a account manager, social media management position. And I was looking for places to do this job posting. And I came across a website. It's basically a website where you can hire moms, and it's remote work. A lot of people just have the expectation that, hey, there may be kids in the background screaming as you record a podcast episode. And I thought it'd be a fun place to kind of maybe, find some great talent. It's a more niched job searching website. And so I was going through posting my job offering on there. And as I posted the job, and they're like, okay, like you now need to schedule a call before the post can go live. And I was like, okay, like this is probably just like a higher level of like a higher bar that they're setting for people that want to post jobs. It's not just going to be anyone. They're going to make sure that there's no spam. I think this is a good thing. They're raising the bar as far as like who can post on the website. And I was like, okay. So I scheduled an interview with them about my job posting. And I get to the interview, and she's like, well, I want to talk about your job, but before I go into that, do you understand like the working relationship with, how it works with posting a job on this website? And I was kind of like, no, I don't. I just realized I shared the name. Sorry. I realized I shared the name of the place and I didn't mean to. And so we're going to have to edit that out later. I don't want to talk badly about anyone, but I do want to be honest about an experience. And so I was like, I'm sorry. I thought it was just like a place where I post jobs. And they go, oh no, that's actually like, this is how it works. And they explained that if I wanted to post a job, I was going to, one, have to pay for the posting. And then if I hired someone from this job website, I would have to also pay for like hiring this person. And I was like, okay, I mean, like I've heard of this model before, but I didn't really understand what the benefit was of posting on this website versus somewhere else. I was like, okay, so like, do you facilitate the relationship? Like, how does it, like, I really just want to hire someone. I don't want to do like a thing where I hire someone through another platform and I have to pay them through the platform. I really just want this person to kind of be integrated with our processes. And they were like, oh, like, well then you'll have to pay this much money. And it was a whole thing. And so they basically wanted me to pay a bunch of money to get access to the people that work at or the people that are having applications on their website. And so I was like, okay, well, like, I guess what's the benefit of posting my job with you guys versus one of these other sites? And this question was an opening to say, what makes you unique? What makes you special? Sell your business to me. I am open to it. I just need to know what about you is unique. And they didn't really have an answer, which is the frustrating thing. Is like, I gave you the opening to sell yourself. I gave you the chance to be like, hey, like this is why you should work with us versus anyone else. And they kind of had like a roundabout fluff answer. Like, oh, like we have, X more percentage of women that work with us versus, the other places, and X more percentage of diversity hires than the other places, and da-da-da. And it's like, there's still other places where I can do that though. Like you specifically, what makes you unique? Like you're not the only place that does that. And so I kind of felt like, okay, like there's nothing unique about this place. Like I'm paying all this extra money to post a job here, but I don't know exactly what I'm getting in return. And the call was intended to be like a vetting process to make sure, that I'm not scamming, but also understand their process. And I don't feel like they had good sales training. Like they didn't sell me on it. They didn't really seem to have an answer. She kind of stumbled through her pitch. And so this is more my question to you, is if someone were to come up to you and say, what makes you unique? Why should I hire you and your accounting firm over another accounting firm? Why should I hire you as a bookkeeper over another bookkeeper, tax accountant, whoever? You should have an answer that is a little bit more substantial than you offer free consultations. That's not a reason. Saying that you can, you're available day and night over text message is also not really a reason, unless it's something that someone has explicitly said that's something they want. You know, also, is that something you really want to give up, that you're available day and night over text messages? You probably aren't, and you probably don't want to do that. But maybe you do. I don't know. But this is my point, is that if I, for example, if me, a representative of MediaBooks, was sitting on a panel with my competitors, I would be able to give an answer of why I am unique and what I have that my competitors don't. And vice versa. I mean, there's not a lot of marketers out there that serve the accounting space. I know a lot of them. I know what they offer and what they offer that I don't, and vice versa. And all of us would probably be able to say, I mean, we're marketers, so this is something that we all should know. We would all be able to say, like, where we're strong, where we're weak, and, you know, if, for example, someone needed X, Y, and Z and we didn't offer it, we would be able to refer it out to someone else. That has happened between, you know, me and some of my competitors before is, hey, I don't, you know, I understand you want to work on WordPress exclusively. I don't work with WordPress. Here's my colleague that does. This is all to say, I know what my strengths are, what my weaknesses are. I know what my colleagues' strengths and weaknesses are. And so you, as a business owner, this isn't like a competitive, like, smush them to the ground sort of thing. This is just if someone comes up to you and says, what makes you unique? Why should I work with you? And you're in a room of other accountants and bookkeepers, you should be able to give them an answer where you don't feel like you're stumbling. You should be able to confidently say, yep, we work exclusively with accountants and bookkeepers. We specialize in Squarespace. We have a background in accounting. So we understand that, you know, unlike a lot of marketers, the nuances of the industry, we understand that the content needs to be correct, but it also needs to be entertaining. And we're a good sort of combination of both those things. When it comes to our competitors, we specialize in things like Squarespace. And as when it comes to price point, we have some options, whether you're just entering the industry or if you are more established. I have a little pitch, okay? So I have a little thing that I can just pull out at any time and present to people that are interested in working with us. Likewise, I recommend you just really spending time and just make a bullet pointed list of what makes you unique. If you were in a room full of bookkeepers, what would you say is your strengths? What do you have a leg up on when it comes to those things? It's a lot easier if you have a niche, but even if you don't, really try to spend some time understanding what makes you and your business unique. When it comes to designing websites, the service page always takes much more time than anticipated. It can sometimes be hard to verbalize everything you do, so I always recommend simplifying, which is what I'm going to do right now with MediaBooks. Here at MediaBooks, we offer 3 services for every stage of your business. We offer web design for when you are just getting your marketing strategy up and running, or you need a website refresh. We offer website audit services for those DIYers, and we also have advisory services for those who love their website and are ready to advance their marketing skills. Get started with MediaBooks by visiting MediaBooksAgency.com. MediaBooks, the only place on the internet where creative accounting isn't a bad thing.